Hello everyone and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. So we left off on... Okay, so a new game. Continue your journey, Cabbage. It was just a tad loud. Let me just do it via mixer. And let's also just increase the music a tad. Music is always good. Okay, so we have 2 votes effectively for Lorem right now. So, we'll get a little more now actually. But that might just be my headphones. Let me know if the audio is too loud or not. If my headphones are too loud for that matter. Right, so we have not actually had that one achievement yet, actually, either. Okay. Probably back down to that again. So can I make myself any louder? Okay, hopefully that will do it then. Yes, Justin. Grant suggested we go after Lorem. You wanted to go after Lorem. And Doppel had suggested that we head over to Remy because the storyline is good. I think that's what he said. And that's not inaccurate. It is. Well, they're all kind of good, really. So we might as well shake his hand. Why not? Rick Scrumpy, why not? Meant to give her blood, but whatever. Already gave her blood. Not skipping ahead just for the sake of in case. He likes you a lot. Wait, where? Just gone. Yeah, I've noticed that too. He's a charming fellow. Thanks. How nice of you. Plan Sebastian's murder. Dessert 1. Also friends. That's kitchen. Bridge, was it the bridge? All right. It's the pantry. And, love you. I think I'm alright. As a shot Maverick, ran off. So one thing real quick, Grant. I currently do not have the don't really know what I'm doing wrong at the moment, really, is, I don't have Flawless Run. Do well in all investigations in a single playthrough. I'm actually surprised at that. Go back to the moment. Oh. Yeah, so... Sharp Implement. Solar Pants. Doesn't want to make any noise. Snack. Howdy, dear. Not back. Well, I'm made. So... that's what we do. Find recipe for fabric. Alright. So, we just skipped through chapter 1 and hopefully we did good on all the choices. Now we meet with Lorem. What was the opinion so far? So we went to the barn, as Lorem had suggested as our meeting place. When I looked around, I saw Bryce sitting at a table talking to someone I couldn't see. I lingered on him for a second, but I soon spotted Lorem in the corner of my eye. There you are! Hey, Lorem! Yeah, so it turns out that we have actually talked to Lorem before. And let's not skip ahead, we are doing this for Lorem's sake. It's good to see you, I thought you might not show up. Alright, so this is where I'm going to be asking the chat now. Are we late? Well, we're here now, almost didn't. I don't think any of those would end our conversation with Lorem right away. But since the chat has suggested to go after Lorem, basically just can't anchor or scare him, that's probably. So I don't know who's in the chat. I see Justin, probably in Apex Legends. There's a Super Grant. Justin says, well, I'm here now. Okay. I would like to assume Shadow, but I can't tell if he's actually here to chat or if he's anonymously there. Okay, so here now, I guess. Yeah, I can certainly see that. I just want to go back to that. There we go. I just want to grab that screenshot. I can certainly see that. Kinda surprised you wanted to meet me here. Don't take this the wrong way, but are you even old enough to drink? What are you talking about? Oh, I see. I can assure you that I am a fully grown dragon. Sorry, adult. My species doesn't get much bigger than this. Speaking of which, are you fully grown yet? How big do humans usually get, and how do they stack up comparatively speaking? Oh, would you mind if I took some notes? Before we get to that, you haven't even told me what this is exactly, what exactly this is for. Are you sure you're not a reporter? If I was, Sebastian wouldn't even let me meet you in the first place. And I thought the uniform was just a clever disguise. It's real though. Sebastian knows I work for the local post office. Excuse me, but this still doesn't really tell me anything about why I'm here. You're a postman who wants to interview me for... what exactly? Sorry, I guess I got ahead of myself. Maybe a full introduction is in order. And after that, you can still decide whether you want to go through with this round. Sounds good to us? Sure, go ahead. And I guess we're basically just not picking the regret. We are not regretting coming here because the chat clearly said, go see Lorem. You must see Lorem. Is this is the lore you're looking for. It just wants to say sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. I recently graduated college with a degree in computing and moved in here with a good friend of mine. This town doesn't exactly offer the best opportunities to put my degree to good use, though. Then why move here in the first place? Living in the city can be very expensive. I can always move later when I get a job there. I've got other plans right now, though. I'm working on a video game. Great, guys. What's this about? A video game? Oh, you said this was going to be about something serious. I guess that's definitely not what we're picking. Video game? Sounds interesting. Assuming Justin is busy with Apex Legends, I'm not sure if Grant is still here, if he's also waiting for anything else. Seems to be a really slow stream today. Right, so for the purposes of no one in chat actually answering right now, the dice have said to ask about the video game. If Lauren is upset by this in any way and we're not impressed, it's everyone's fault because nobody was talking. You got it. Video game and computers are just the scratch to catch on in places like towns and in places like this town. Making good content would be very important to give a good first impression. and humans have always been part of our media. Books, movies, and now games. With you on our side, this could be an amazing opportunity. Well... that logic. We just need to capture that just in case we don't already have that, which I'm pretty sure we do. Oh, maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. Why is that? And right about that, I can't help but feel a little deceived by you. Alright guys, what's your answer? Are we gonna ask why? Because that's the only choice I'm giving you. I don't know. You don't seem so thrilled about doing this anymore. Besides, your job must be really stressful and you're probably already in the spotlight all the time. And now, to top it all off, you get some postman harassing you for an interview. Harassing? Wow, okay. If you wanted to leave, I'd get that. Stay! That's the only choice I'm giving you, YouTube. Well, I'm already here and have nothing else to do, so let's make the most of it. Yes! Thank you! At least I won't have to be so careful now. With a reporter, I'd have to worry about things being misinterpreted or being taken out of context. You should still be careful. What you tell me now will influence how your entire species will be represented in my game. Don't worry though, I'll treat this delicate matter with the required finesse. Don't get ahead of yourself yet, probably not gonna pick that. So, are we sure of that, or... okay. So I'm just gonna wait for chat here, because I want chat to be engaged. At the same time, I'm also curious where my cat's actually got to. I don't see her anywhere, so she must be hiding under my bed. When you die or you're in a game lobby. Okay, Justin, so you're here now. What is your choice? Repeat the conversation. Yeah, sure, sure. But what was her choice back then? That was 4 stories ago. That was 16 streams ago, basically. That was 4 months ago. Roughly. Alright, the dice say sure of it. Alright, for the next question I'm gonna, what's normal? Yeah, I'm still asking you what it is. It's, so it's not gonna be don't get ahead of yourself, because we have a requirement now. We have a bar set. So, you could have previously actually picked we haven't even started yet, so for sure that's going to present a problem. And even then, I'm still asking chat, not, yeah, okay, so literally it's okay now. So, I'm still going to be asking you whether it was we did this before or not. How should we do this? Let me think. Can we just take a screenshot and consider get a picture of that? Why do you want to make this game in the first place? I've always wanted to make a video game. I've had this idea for a while, and it seems now is the right time to do it. It's almost as if you arrived at the perfect moment. I don't know. Don't you think my visit will overshadow your efforts? People may not be so interested in playing a game about humans anymore if they had a real one show up. Good point, but the vast majority won't get to meet you personally. Anyway, if I say I did and modeled the humans in the game after you, people will flock to it like to get a similar experience. Does that mean I'm going to be your game's mascot? So now I'm part of your viral marketing campaign? Great. So, probably not that one. As long as it's based on the truth, you have my support. Okay guys, so 1 or 3, does this mean I'm going to be part of the game's mascot? Well, I guess I am kind of a sellout with the cabbage down there in the corner. Or as long as it's based on the truth, you have our support, so... yeah, I guess our picture there would work very nicely in either case, as a mascot and based on the truth. Because our name is Cabbage, and as Just likes to point out, we are an exotic vegetable. Hey, game's mascot? I guess you could say so. Okay, but why focus on humans? What makes us so important? If there's one thing that people here love, it's humans. It doesn't matter if they're just seen in the media or believe them in mythical creatures. A piece of vegetable waste. I'm actually kind of glad that I'm taking these pictures now. So just grab that one, so I can later Photoshop a picture of Lorem and a cabbage floater or something. Oh, sorry. For me, humans were always real. I just didn't know whether I'd ever get a chance to meet one myself. I guess I can cross that one off my bucket list. Alright, Justin, I'm going to be focusing on Grant. So now that we're here, I can tell you that no expense will be spared to make our portrayal of humans as accurate as possible. That's great. Hammond, not General, and what's the guy's name from Jurassic Park? I just remember his name is Hammond. You certainly seem passionate enough about this. There's some messed up priority. Okay, I'm with you on this. So, Grant, I'm sure you know what the choices are by now. Now that we're here, I can tell you that no expense will be spared to making our portrayal of humans as accurate as possible. So, he certainly seems passionate enough about that, or we're with him in making it as accurate as possible. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm gonna have to assume that Grant is away or unable to answer at this point. So the dice had said, I'm with you on this. For good reason, I just love humans. Okay, so I just... Sorry, I just had to do that. If you say it like that, it actually ends up sounding pretty weird. I just said that. Okay, sorry, oops. Yes, let's just get a picture of that. I just love humans. Besides, what if I turn out to be a horrible person? What would you think about humans then? It wouldn't change anything, because I wouldn't base my opinion of the entire species on the interaction of a single individual. Then what is your current opinion of us based upon? Just this we have on the previous portrayal of humans in our media, but I suppose that's where I'm talking with you right now. I want the truth, and all of it. Telling you all of it might not be such a good idea. Oh yeah, I guess that would take a lot more time than we have today. Anyway, what's the actual game about? What do? You just, It's a community simulation game that all starts with a player character moving into a procedurally generated community, which is inhabited by all kinds of mythical creatures, humans included. Mythical creatures like humans. Not only are the towns you move into unique, but the inhabitants are too. There are a variety of traits that get randomized, both in looks and personality. There are many things you can do, but it's very open-ended. Live your life there however you want to. Right, that is definitely not boring, people. That sounds very interesting, or your kind of game. Pick one of the two. I'll also just play with something here real quick. There we go. Okay, so I also did just check really quickly comparatively. I seem to be missing several pixels at the bottom of the screen, as well as at the top of the screen. Well, on all the edges really. And it seems to be that enough is being blocked off by the border there. That is just a very minor detail, but there's a little bit of white on the bottom of Lorm's tail that's not actually showing up in the stream. Alright, so nobody is in chat, which is disappointing. So, Justin, you need to quit playing Apex Legends. Sounds very interesting. It is. At least, I hope others feel the same way about it. What other mythical creatures are there besides humans? I haven't worked that out yet, but humans alone gives us lots of material to work with. How so? The question of the mythical human can be tackled in a variety of ways. There are many different interpretations of what humans are like. For example, in general, the mythical human can be divided into 3 categories. Firstly, the human is a physical creature. Secondly, the human is a non-physical entity. And thirdly, the human is a spiritual being. Let's start with the physical aspects. Sure, since one of our myths tells us that humans who created us eventually turned into a dragon, there is a lot of room for interpretation as to how similar humans actually are to dragons. I can see you don't have wings, but most of us are able to create fire in some way, or at least have a breath weapon. How about you? Alright, I don't have a breath weapon unless you count my morning breath. I can rub 2 sticks together to make fire, does that count? Or, of course, I can also move things with my mind. I just have to pick this one to see Worm's reaction, because that is flat out lie and trolling, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to appreciate that. Really? That's amazing! Okay, so he's excited for the absolute wrong reasons. Assuming Justin is in a game, I'm gonna give him points, but the dice are saying I don't have a breath weapon unless you count my morning breath. I'm gonna be assuming that Justin is going to be in his game for a few minutes longer. I don't know how long the games in Apex Legends are going to go, 20, 30 minutes. It's been, I'm just estimating 11 minutes right now, so supposing that's accurate. I don't think that counts. Oops, I'm pushing buttons I didn't want to. It is a bit strange though, because our myths also say that you gave the ability to us, Interesting. It meant to be taken literally, meaning that the ability was given to us, you lost it. Or maybe we never had it in the first place. Humans are known to have created lots of things out of nothing. After all, we only needed to discover how to create and use fire, because we didn't have a natural ability to do so. We have a problem that sums us up pretty well. What is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. So, lack of natural ability drove innovation forward. What an interesting thought. Here's another thing. You may have many different images of humans, but in the end, only one will be right. It's also possible that what you've been led to believe about humans doesn't actually refer to us at all. Are you implying that you aren't human? No, I'm just saying that if you really have been in contact with humans before, as your myths imply, they would need to be along the same species as me, and thus be very similar to myself. If they aren't, then either they weren't human at all, or have very different origins. So you say there's the possibility that our humans and your humans may be something different altogether? I suppose you are right in that the way that the image of humans are very inconsistent. They certainly can't all be humans in the way that we would refer to a single species. The name would probably be reserved for yours. And we haven't even touched on the other 2 categories of humans. What did you call them again? Non-physical human entities and spiritual humans. What's the difference? Honestly, the definition gets a bit muddled there, going by conventional belief. A ghost would be a human who has died and thus changed into a different form. We would call this a spiritual human. An angel, on the other hand, would be classified as a non-physical entity. What do you know about angels? I know angels with scaly wings. Angels basically look like humans with wings. Their existence in ancient scripts was used to lend some credence to the theories about humans having become dragons. Because of the wings? Exactly. But some of your dragon species don't have wings either. Yes, as I said, once you start delving into that kind of stuff, it all becomes very convoluted. When we met, you also told me about something about a four-headed human. Right. To that we'd get into the realm of creatures that just don't make much sense at all. Having four heads just seems unlikely from an evolutionary perspective. That might also not really matter if we're talking about a non-physical entity or a spiritual being. So in the end, you have lots of different ideas whose only connection to each other is that you use the word human to describe them in some way. They share at least some basic characteristics. You fit those as well, by the way. What are they? You certainly are not like a reptile like us. You don't look like a conventional mammal either. We are mammals, though. Yes, but you are so different from other mammals, we know that ultimately you are quite unique. We don't know any other sentient mammals. You've got a point there, I'll give you that. Strangely enough, we have plenty of human-like creatures in our mythologies as well. Oh, do tell! I already mentioned ghosts, but other ones include dwarves, giants, fairies, and blemmies. I think I've heard of those before, but what is a blemmy? Essentially, a blemmy is a human without a head. A human without a head? How does that work? How do they eat? Instead of a head, they just have the facial features on their chest. That's a rather weird mental image. There's also lots of half-creatures that share characteristics with humans and other animals. Like bird humans? Sure. Lastly, there are creatures that are said to be able to shapeshift into human form. Strangely enough, some of our dragon myths said they could shapeshift into humans, or that certain countries' royalties are descendants from dragons. That would imply that they are genetically compatible with humans. Yes, they are. So, not gonna say that's gross. Justin, if you have a moment, for that matter, I suppose if you do just say, hey, in a lobby and hey, in a game now, that would certainly help out the other of us. The dice are otherwise saying, I guess. Poor Lord, he's not gonna be impressed at this rate. That sounds rather outlandish if you ask me. We certainly can't shapeshift either. Shapeshift like that either. I suppose it's why they're just myths, or are you sure? To be fair, I never tried. Hang on. Okay. I guess I can't really screenshot that. Alright. Did it work? Nope. Still a dragon. Aww, that face. He said aww, and that's basically the reaction. Aww. Anyway, how come you know so much about myths? Well, part of being an ambassador, not only did I learn about dragon myths in order to compare them to what you're like, but I also studied myths about creatures that are similar to humans so that I could find out how similar they were to yours. Well, you're doing an excellent job so far, and it's bound to help me a lot with my game as well. You're going to put all that into the game? Let's just say it gives me an excellent material to work with. I thought you wanted to give an accurate portrayal of humans, not just a collection of myths. One species will certainly be modeled after you, but that doesn't mean you can't add some variety with others as well. People will love it if we also bring some of your more unusual myths to life. I see. But since we also want each of the normal humans to be unique, I'd like to know how much variety there really is with your species. I've seen Rezo before, so comparing him to you already gives me a bit of an idea. But how far do these differences go exactly? When we arrived here, you asked me if I was old enough to drink. That leads me to believe that your average human height must be a lot taller. That's true. You could say Reza would be about your average for an adult. But that it would be impossible to get a good deal bigger than him or even smaller than him. But those cases are rather rare and unusual as a result of medical conditions. I see. What about colors? Are there any humans who are blue like me? Not really. There's a certain spectrum of skin color that can be lighter or darker. But so far, I've seen a lot more variety in the dragons here. Do we have quite a number of different eye colors, though? Sorry, that was my mistake. We do have quite a different number of eye colors. Interesting. As for things that aren't immediately visible, we also have different blood types, and I assume you know about that. We certainly have those as well. Some people even believe your blood type influences your personality. That, on the other hand, is news to me. Anything else you want to know? Phew, we already got so much. We'll have to think about this, and how we can work all of this into the game. Have you worked on any other games before? I worked on a few small projects during my course of my studies, and also interned at the studio before. This is also on a completely different level though. How so? It's my game, so I'm the one calling the shots here. It's a very different thing than just making a few graphics when you're part of a bigger team for sure. I see. How long have you been working on this? Phew, must be several months now. I've got everything planned out now, and a lot of groundwork has already been done. The most difficult things are the characters themselves, to make sure all of the details are accurate. Of course. Have you shown the game to other people yet? Sure, feedback is very important as part of the development process, so I regularly gather ideas and opinions from others. I even made a website to do this. What do they say? All kinds of things, really. Sometimes it's hard to decide which ones have a good points and which ones can be disregarded. Overall, it seems that many people who are looking forward to play my game though. How many are we talking about? I don't know exactly. The counter on my website only tracks the number of visits, so I don't know how many different people there are. What if it doesn't work out? What do you mean? Well, you're investing a certain amount of time and money into making this game. Ideally, you would make that your investment and hopefully get some profit on top of it. If the goal is to make some money, sure. However, I just wanted to try my hand at doing something like this. If some people are going to enjoy the end result, that's great. Don't forget that I'll also have made something that I can put on my resume. At the very least, it'll have been a good learning experience. That attitude, I suppose you really don't have anything to lose. I can always look for another job, and maybe I'll end up working at a game studio. But I think once I've started doing something like that, I might not get this opportunity again. So it's now or never, huh? In a nutshell, yes. All that works out with your career job? Sure, I can support myself this way, and I am not really under any pressure since I don't have any deadlines to keep. Seems like you know what you're doing, or deadlines are a good way to ensure that things get done though. Going to assume that Justin is in a game still. So, unless anybody else is in chat wants to say anything. Deadlines are a good way to get things done. You're right about that. It's something where balance is important, I think. I set deadlines for myself, but I don't have to worry about the project breaking down if I don't meet certain milestones at certain times. What kind of tools are you using to make it? If I consider what some of your species looks like, I'm having a hard time imagining how bigger ones can program a game. While we do have devices tailored to each individual species, I can't deny that my dexterous hands makes it a lot easier compared to some of the others. One downside is that I have to keep my nails short, or else the keyboard gets a bit cumbersome. I can imagine you'd have to be careful with rules while working as a courier anyways. You're right about that. One wrong move, and you've suddenly shredded one letter you're going to hand someone. Do we have that picture specifically? Maybe. That sounds unpleasant, or you should be more careful. Luckily, that kind of thing doesn't really happen to me anymore. Not only because of the shorter nails, but once you worked there for a while, you just learn to be more careful. It's a bit sad not to have them as a natural letter opener anymore. Not just for me, some people ask me to open their letters for them, since doing that on their own can be difficult for someone with some of the less dexterous culture ones. Have you been working as a courier for long? I just got this job a few months ago, but I had a part-time summer job at the post office when I was growing up. My species is perfectly suited for the job, so they were glad to have me aboard. I can see that. Why is that, or really? That actually sounds like anyone. I'm pretty sure we can't really offend him with that one, at least not horribly so. I'm going to assume that Justin's game is still going. It's only been 15 minutes. I wouldn't really see it ending yet. So would I say I can see why? There he is, lit up again, bright and excited. Of course, being able to fly is a big plus. My science means I can't deliver big packages, but I often get assigned to urgent letters that have to be delivered as soon as possible. That sounds like it would be very good for a demon too, really. It's getting late. Maybe we should leave it at that for today. I should probably head back to my apartment before it gets too dark. I got more than enough material to work with. Thanks a lot. Don't worry about it. I'll just consider it a public service. Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity, especially after nearly getting denied by Sebastian when I met him. Just make the best of it. I certainly will! I really have to get going now, so maybe I'll see you some other time. Sure, have a good night. Take care. Okay, and we are now meeting with Bryce, because we want his line in Chapter 3. Just one, I'll take 3. No, don't skip it. No. Curious, what is our status with, Nora? Good, okay. So, yeah, might as well skip ahead. Alright, you know what? I'm sorry, the whole contest was a stupid idea and I shouldn't have suggested it, especially not to you. Well, it's not like you forced me to participate, so I suppose I share some of the blame. Oops, skipped ahead accidentally, I guess so. Guess you should be going as well, kiddo. Maybe I'll see you some other time. Wow, Brace called us kiddo. So it turns out you've seen this before. Either you could watch it again, or... I mean, yeah, let's not skip. Sure, sign me up. Let's see, what did I say? I just like all kinds of stereos. I just like all kinds of stereos, period. That's what I'm talking about. What was this again? Push me... I guess so. What do you mean? Did you see him? Some sort of camouflage. What? Reza... Audio Stadia feels like we stole it. Sure thing. Alright, for the purposes of Damien, I think. Let's try the production facility. I don't think there's really anything else that we really need to do, so yeah, let's just go here. Reza was allegedly here at some point, so maybe I should ask Anna. Hello? Anybody here? Smack smack? Pound pound? Can I help you? I was looking for Anna. This is her lab, right? Why don't I ever get any recognition? This is my lab as much as it is hers. Either way, Anna is not here. Would that be all? Since you work here, maybe you can help me instead. Oh, of course, your precious Anna isn't here, so you'll have to settle with me. I see how it is. That's not what I meant. Of course, let's just get this over with. You can start by telling me who you are. Here's the short version. My name is Damien. I work in this facility, and I'm unfortunate enough to live the nightmare of having to deal with Anna on a daily basis. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. And you are? You don't know who I am? Tch, of course I know who you are, but your assumption validated the point I was going to make. See, this whole thing about you coming here has been blown out of proportion, like some huge event that everyone should be celebrating. Newsflash, not everyone cares. Once both of you are gone, life will return to normal. We can all go back to what we actually should be doing. I can imagine a lot of this has to do with the human myths you have. I can only reiterate, not everyone cares. What exactly did you want again? Has Reza been here recently? Do you know anything about Reza's visit to the facility? I've seen him a few times. He would come by to ask about the progress of the generators. There was this one time when Anna told him she'd have news, but when he came over, she just wanted to run some tests on him. Did he go through with it? No, he wanted some compensation, I suppose. Nothing she could offer satisfied him. However, that was that. How long have you known Anna? Why do you care about that? Maybe you want to find out what kind of person she is, and you might have an idea. I'll put it this way, I've known her far too long. What kind of research is Anna doing? Yes, hi Justin. Cancer research. She thinks she can cure it, but she's out of her mind. Is that such a bad thing? The way she does it? Yes. She's wasting resources that could be better spent on projects with an actual chance of success. Oh, so you're actually here for every other option now. I'm glad to hear that, Justin. What kind of research are you doing? Nothing special, unless you care about genetics, and we're not talking about the basics here, but the deep stuff. That's all. Thank you for your help. Yeah. Alright, Justin. You interrogated Damien. Makes you feel important, eh? Alright, where do you want to go next, Justin? Since, I have you now. Do you want to go to the grocery store? Do you want to visit the library? Or Tattoo Park? Since we interrogated Damien, I suppose we could also get some rest. I believe we have otherwise been everywhere now. That was the first time that we've actually gone to talk with Damien. Library? Mini strokes? Why did you play that, Justin? Alright, Reza, what did you want here? Hey, it's Remy. I already told you, it's not here. Who's he talking to, Eddie? Won't you help out an old friend? Friend? This is the first time you've spoken to me in years. And whose fault is that? For you, I didn't even exist these last few years. At least I tried to reach out to you. No, you're here because you want something. Ooh, mad Remy. I'm right here, right now, and you still continue to act like that. She was my friend too, you know. Yes, poor Remy. I think you should leave. Cauliflower. Now I feel like I need to get a bunch of images for all the characters. Cauliflower, I don't know, apple, potato, blueberry, maybe? He is a midget too. And I don't know, I guess banana maybe? I don't know. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for everything. It's a little late for apologies. Have it your way then. Nadine stormed out so quickly that she didn't even notice me. I waited a few minutes, wondering if it was a good idea to talk to Remy. In the end, I decided that my task was too pressing to come back at another time. I shuffled through the books and tried to look busy until I noticed he resumed his work, so I could approach him. Hello, Cabbage. How can I help you? Has Reza been here recently? Reza? He visited quite often since he arrived, actually. Until a few days ago, that is. You know what he was reading? Not particularly. I thought he just wanted to learn about our world. Did you notice anything unusual about him while he was here? Can't say I did, though he did ask me for a map once. Map? Yes, I showed him a few, but none of them seemed to be what he was looking for. Did he talk to you about anything strange while he was here? Besides the map, nothing else was worth mentioning comes to mind. Only the usual pleasantries. Might as well ask how you're doing, since we're here. I'm doing fine, thank you. What did Nadine want from you? Wait, you were here that whole time? Not the whole time, just long enough to know that something was up. It's nothing that concerns you. Come on, it does concern me. I know you, and I know Nadine. It's really nothing of great importance. Are you aware of a certain prehistoric underground building that was recently discovered? I've heard of it. She wanted a blueprint of it, which was one of the things we found inside the building during an investigation. Why would you have it? Or not just a library, you know, but a whole archive that stores all sorts of information and objects. In any case, a blueprint is the kind of thing that would be placed in our care eventually. So if she thinks you have it, even if we did, it wouldn't be something we could just give out to anyone. Of course. That's all, folks. Thanks for helping. You're welcome. Alright, so that would effectively bring us already to the end of chapter 1. That afternoon, the sun hung low in the sky. It was time for my report, so it turns out I've seen this before. As an ambassador, I would never do such a thing. That sounds like him. I don't think he's going anywhere. Thanks, Sebastian. I'm not sure if there's anything special about Anna wanting Reza's blood. I mean, she's a scientist, so it's natural that she'd be interested in something like that. I'll have to talk to her about it, though. Maybe she has more details for us. Map in the library. I don't know what to think about that. He could have needed a map to plan something, I suppose. But who knows what he really wanted to do with it. It's the kind of detail that, on its own, might not tell us much, but could be crucial later on. Well done, Cabbage. That gives us solid points from which we can continue our investigation. Alright. No, it's, look at that, it's second date already. Alright, Justin. It's all you now. And if I remember right, this is actually a pretty long one, so I hope you're ready. There you are, come in. No, don't skip ahead. As you wish, sure. Ah, there's Lorem again. Blushing little Lori. Honestly, I can't believe you agreed to do this again. So, we believe it. We believe it, okay? So don't mention it or it's my pleasure. So, while Justin does that, I'm just gonna leave this up here. Unless you're gonna turn on the link really quick while Justin chooses one of those. Well, I don't see my cat anywhere, so she must be hiding under the bed right now. Okay, it's my pleasure. Now that I've had a chance to work through everything from last time, we can do some real work. Sounds great! I did a staggering amount of research on mythical humans here. Let me show you some stuff I found. Sure. We sat down at the coffee table. Warren opened up a laptop and started to type away. Seeing the laptop brought back memories. In our world, they had become obsolete a long time ago. It's funny that you say that. I'm using my laptop right here in tablet mode for streaming stuff. There we go. Yeah. Very hard to see. Oh wow, that was some interesting reflection there. I think that was my primary monitor that was reflecting back onto the tablet, into the camera. Before I show you these images, I should probably tell you that some of them are really weird. Just don't take them the wrong way. You already told me about the four-headed humans, so I think I can handle this. Alright. That looks a fair bit like Damien, who we just finished talking to. He doesn't look very human to me. He looks friendly, or he looks attractive. I really want to say he looks attractive myself. Justin, what's your choice? 1, 2, or 3? You remember what he said on 3? Okay. This one is supposed to be one of our ancestors. Ancestors? It does remind me of some of the dragons I've seen here, but I'm not sure what humans have to do with it. You remember the myths about our creators being turning into dragon, right? Yeah. And technically, you shouldn't say I don't think I've heard that one before, because he was just exactly telling us that back when we first stayed at the farm. Now here's an interesting question. What species did that human turn into? There are a number of dragon species nowadays that aren't genetically compatible with each other. Did the human choose one of them? Did they perhaps procreate? A shared ancestor is one option. That would mean that the different species split after the human's involvement in our creation. If human DNA was involved in some way, this might explain how our different species came to be. Take a far ancestor of ours that applies to various amounts of human DNA. The results would be a number of different species with a different amount of resemblance to humans. So, probably not. This is getting weird. So, Justin, what's your choice? I'm just gonna pick this to see his reaction. It's getting weird. Now it has been said that an upright stance okay, so he's just continuing on. Anything. You are still here, right, Justin? Are you just considering which one to pick? Did I say okay? Interesting. Alright. And now it has been said that an upright stance and being able to walk on two legs is a more human trait. Okay, Justin is right. Most humans can walk on two legs, so that's true. Or I'm not sure I'd agree with that. Did he say it's a more human trait? I'm not sure. Why? Is this because like monkeys or something as an example? So he's just basically ignoring us. He's so excited he's just going on his own. So, which one? 1, 2, or 3, Justin? 2, okay. And his eyes lit up. In any case, it's one of the things that makes humans unique. As a result, some people believe that certain species share more traits with humans than others. They think that it makes them more noble or something. Luckily, this doesn't happen often. You can walk on 2 legs as well, right? Sure, in this theory of shared human DNA, this puts me somewhere in the middle since I still have wings and horns. I can see that. Here, look at this one. So what do you think of that? I wouldn't want to live in the same town as this fellow. I'm not sure if this is much closer than the previous one. Or what's with the little horns? I think this is the one that basically upsets Lauren, right? You don't want to live in the same town? Yeah, that's basically the same thing. Okay. So in this case, not sure if this is much closer than the previous one, or what's a little bit more. Oh, horns. Which one, Justin? And are you lagging behind? I'm wondering if there's a fair bit of response time between my question and what you're answering. And I see the third option. What's with the little horn? Since we don't know what the original human looked like, we can't exactly define which trait separates us from them. As a result, our interpretation of humans can vary wildly. And that is probably his best option. Let's see what his second option says. Not sure if this is much closer. Yeah, he's probably most excited about the what's a little? Two? Okay. Not even a little? Maybe a little. I'm not sure if he's a particularly friendly one though. Actually, I think this one is supposed to be a human female. Interesting. There are some that don't think humans are friendly at all, though. Really? So far, I've only heard positive things about us. Some interpretations of our myths don't exactly paint you in the best light. There are also some people who oppose the idea of a human worship and what their involvement has meant for us. In what way? They say that human interference was unnatural and that we need to get back to our roots. And how do you think they can do that? Apparently it means refusing to use modern technology and living in caves or in the wilderness again. Like an animal. Pretty much. Most of us think that those people are crazy though. Right, that sounds like the part for sure. Okay, that's probably not the one to pick. I see, or as long as I'm not hurting one, let's just see. They're harmless, really. Okay. They're harmless, really. Okay. They're harmless, really. Okay. Pick one. Anyone. They're harmless, really. if you want a random option, the random option says they sound the part for sure. I guess they sound like the part for sure. Since Justin seems to be MIA. They're harmless, really. I feel like that's gonna become a meme or something. I just need to screenshot that. Probably won't see one of them around here anyways. This is an interesting style though. Do you know how these pictures were made? I'm not sure. That information was provided when I looked them up in the library, but I didn't copy all of that. You're using these as a reference? I make do with what I can get. Maybe now you can see why I wanted your help, Tony. Alright, what do you need me to do? I just want to make some quick sketches. You stand over there by the wall. Okay, I can certainly do that. I walked up to the spot he indicated, and I took my place. I saw that he had laid out a number of pins and paper, and other art supplies on the table. Oh, this is going to take a while, isn't it? I'll try to be quick about it. You want me to strike a pose or something? A T-pose would be good to get started. What's that? That is this. Can't show that on the camera really. Maybe if I zoom out just a bit. Center myself on the camera, so I'm just sticking arms out. That's literally what it is. Just putting your arms sideways so you look like a giant T. Oh, I get it. Raising my arms to the side, I wondered how long this would take. Great, now try to stay as still as possible. Try. We are definitely not regretting this. Or can I still talk? I'm wondering, is Justin on the CTR now instead of Apex? Maybe he's putting himself through another stroke, playing Apex anyways. Try, okay. As I wasn't allowed to move my head, I stared at Lauren sketching my figure. This went on for a few minutes until suddenly I heard a door opening. It's Ipsum. Hey, Lauren. Oh, right. The human was going to visit today. I totally forgot about that. You don't mind if I take a seat, right? You just want to study cabbage! Like you aren't doing that right now. Besides, this room is mine as much as it is yours. I'll just watch it be quiet. I thought you had experiments to run. And they are running. I'd rather not be confined to a tiny room for the next 2 hours staring at the ceiling and waiting for them to finish. But no experiments on cabbage. Yes, I'll just sit here. And maybe take a few notes. I'm sorry, Cabbage. This is my roommate and longtime best friend, Ipsum. Nice to meet you, Ipsum. His scientific bluntness may be off-putting, so please bear with me. Speak for yourself. So much for those two being best friends. Orm returned to his drawing, silence only being interrupted by the strokes of his pen. Something interesting happened at work today. Did they finally figure out that it was you who's playing all those pranks? No, they'll never catch me. I was talking with a colleague about the humans here, and I offhandedly mentioned that Cabbage was going to come over. I don't like where this is going. Some hours later, Anna barges into my office and says Cabbage is off limits to anyone besides her as far as the tests and experiments are concerned. Well, I'm not taking any samples. I could hardly be blamed for just looking at Cabbage. Yes, but that makes me wonder. Cabbage, did you agree to visit her and undergo rigorous testing regimen? Oh, not this time around, really. So, in fact, we accidentally said no to Anna as well. So I did, not really, or certainly not. And as much as I would hate to say certainly not about that, actually, that would be more accurate. So, YouTube or Justin, what's your answer? You did, not really, or certainly not? Just listening to all the scribbles Storm is doing. This is difficult? Well, if you want the dice randomness, they say I did it. In fact, they say we did. If you want me to reroll, they say we did. Now they say certainly not. But according to the dice, they say we did. Are you still having trouble there, Justin? Okay, assuming that Justin is in another game, gave something. Did I say we did? Oh, good luck to you then. Even though that was flat out lie. Oh, and Laura, have you seen my Ixomen sphere recently? Didn't you take it with you when you went to the park the other day? Yes, I did. Well, that's the last time I saw it. I must have lost it then. I already searched the whole apartment. Did you go into my room? That smile and just silence. No. Maybe someone found it. I had it registered in my name when I got it, so if anyone found it, it should show up sooner or later. What is an Ixomen sphere anyways? It's a glorified toy for grown-ups, really. You have no idea what you're talking about. An Ixomen sphere is a very sophisticated tool with countless number of uses. Like what? You can levitate it all year round. Take photos, you can even use it as a calculator. Making it a glorified toy for grown-ups. Use it for my experiments. Well, if I could take photos, I wouldn't need to stand around like this. That is, if we had it here now. It is a great companion for all situations in life. It's much easier to draw from a live model than from a photo. Easier for you, maybe. I hope this doesn't take much longer, because my arms went numb a while ago. Yeah, I think you can relax for now. I'm nearly done with this one. A tingling sensation went up my arms as I relaxed. Slowly I began to regain feeling in them. Alright, now turn around. I thought we were done already. Not unless you want our humans to lack a backside. So what's this about? You know what I mean. I know exactly what you mean. Isn't it my turn to draw you now? That's not how it works. I wouldn't mind getting a portrait of myself. I can already see it, the light shining from above, caressing my luscious mane, highlighting each lock as they interplay. Oh, this is going to be a long day. It depends on how fast you are. As I was now facing the wall, I couldn't see what Lorem and Ipsen were doing. After a few seconds of silence, I heard some whispering coming from the couch. What are you talking about? I didn't want to be rude, but I was just curious about your vestments. He said, and I quote, "This would be more interesting if it wasn't for those clothes Cabbage is wearing." Alright, Justin. I want you here right now. Which one is your answer? Coming here was not a bad idea. So, is your answer really, or I always see how it is? I see how. I just want to see what Lorem's reaction is. Okay, so, not really any reaction. Okay. That seems like we're making a lot of hidden, a lot of hidden value changes. They're harmless, really. You still here, Justin? Really? I'm just saying, it would be hard to study an insect if there was a piece of cloth draped over it. Wearing that much just seems odd to me. If humans wear clothes like this, it's only appropriate to depict them as such. My scientific curiosity shall remain unsatisfied. Miss Cabbage is not here to do that, and you would get in big trouble with Anna. I actually have a pretty big variety of vestments I can tell you about it. It sounds good, but not right now. I have to finish this up first. Alright. So, Ipsum, I've heard a lot of experiments in science now. What do you actually do? I work in the facility as a biologist with a minor in physics. In addition to the office, I also have my own setup here at home. I assure you, it's properly isolated from the rest of the apartment. It even has a fume hood to prevent accidents. But I only use it for the smallest of experiments, usually things unrelated to my job. Sounds boring, okay, or sounds interesting. Now, in this case, I'm not entirely sure which one would offend more, if anything. Okay, because it sounds boring as we're talking about Ipsum here, not Laura, who's the one to impress us. Get it started, or we won't hear the end of it. Maybe you'd like to talk about your hobby instead, Laura. Isn't this already a hobby? I guess you could say so. I was talking about his other hobby. Oh, that. I don't know. It's a little embarrassing, to be honest. There's no need to be embarrassed about your hobbies. He likes flowers. Once he even made a crown out of daisies. Cutest thing in the world. Don't listen to him. As usual, he only tells half the story. What's the other half, then? I have an extensive love for botany. The fern he keeps in this room, that must be that one there in the background, must be the happiest plant alive. I find gardening very relaxing, especially when the birds are singing in the morning. So it's nice to go out there with a nice cup of tea and work in the garden of our apartment building. So that makes Lauren basically British. Which reminds me, Ipsum. Ipsum here has quite an extensive tea collection, although I'm not sure if he prefers to support tea or gadgets. It's a mystery. I heard there is going to be a model of the Ipsosphere that can actually make tea. That's going to be a must-buy. Can it also make cups, or are we supposed to sip it out of the sphere itself? Don't be silly. The two of you sound like an old couple. Couple? Us? Not really. We've known each other for a long time, though, if that counts. I think it does. By the way, Ipsum, you're not from here, right? What is that supposed to mean? Well, you look nothing like any of the other dragons I've seen here so far. I suppose that's true, for Lorem as well. You're both pretty small. In fact, since we have done the story a few times, we could even say that Lorem actually looks like a Chinese or Eastern dragon, for that matter. But you, Ipsum, also have hair. That's certainly new. Until we meet Kevin in Chapter 4. It's not as unusual as you might think, but you're right. There aren't many of us in these parts. I imagine being smaller than the rest of the population would come with its own challenges. It's not that big of a deal if something is unreachable for me. I can fly. This apartment was actually intended to house one dragon of a bigger size. That not only makes it fairly cheap, but also makes it big enough for both of us. There's one thing I've been wondering. How do you even sit in one of those chairs? Wouldn't the backrest cause problems with your tails? I see what you mean. For me, it's never been a problem, because most chairs are bigger than I am. It's just a question of getting into the right position. However, this might be different from many of those who mostly walk on floor legs, but they usually don't sit in chairs like these at all. I've seen a few try though. I suppose they want to imitate humans this way. Even if they can't stand or walk with them, they can at least try to sit like them. With varying results. I've seen some I've seen looked really funny, trying to sit in chairs. They're too big for them, or sitting in odd ways that clearly don't work for their anatomy. I see. Laura, you asked me about breath weapons last time, but I don't think you ever told me if you had one. Probably because it isn't worth mentioning. It may be a very small flame, but it can get very hot. What about you, Ipsum? Yes, Ipsum, what about you? My breath weapon is elocution, since words are more powerful than anything. Sure. I'm only gonna wait a minute, Justin, since we're starting to really run to overtime. So, sure. Same as mine then. We're okay. And what he said is his breath weapon is elocution. He's basically saying his breath weapon is fanciful words. Sure. Alright, I'm done with this one. You can turn around. Alright, Justin. Really? But staring at the wall was so much fun. Does that mean we're done? Or... Sure. Staring at the wall was so much fun. You got him going there, Justin. Let's make one more. Maybe something dynamic. How dynamic are we talking about? Something that isn't static like the reference model I just did. You can strike a pose. Something that's just you. Alright. What kind of pose should I go for? Normal pose, thoughtful pose, or swimwear pose? Which one, Justin? Alright, what about this? Works for me. I was exactly thinking swimwear pose. It's gotta be swimwear. Swimwear. It's me. By the way, did you get the groceries when you came home from work? Yes, just as usual. Are you too sure you're not in a relationship? I certainly am. Actually, Ipsum is deeply in love with his home laboratory. Oh, really? I'm not even going to deny that. When I'm not working on something at the office, I do so here. What are you currently working on? I've been working into the physics of teleportation. We're talking about the portal, right? Well, I don't have permission to even approach the portal, so I have to resort to a theoretical discussion on its mechanics and make do with what I can off in my home laboratory. Maybe I could tell you a few things. That won't be necessary. I already have read all the available test reports. Okay. Are you aware of using the portal could be incredibly dangerous? I'm not sure what you're talking about. And you don't have a complete understanding of what the portal actually does, what it actually means for our world at large. In order for a portal to function, a natural wormhole is required. It is trapped and becomes the portal's entry. The portal manipulates the wormhole's exit. This way, something can be sent to whichever destination is chosen. Now, there is a theory of the purpose of the natural wormholes in the universe. It states that they act as a support pillar of the space-time continuum. How so? How should I explain this? I think the video game analogy worked pretty well. Sure, in a video game, what happens when you meet the edge of the map? You hit a wall? That happens in some games, but in others, you reappear on the other side. Opposites are inserted. Right. How does this happen? If our world is a perfect sphere, someone could just keep flying in the same direction, and eventually they would end up at the starting point again. Sure. This is the same result of physics in the abstraction of video game. However, it doesn't work like that. They don't even try to replicate us spherical worlds, just using a 2D plane instead. This is getting confusing. Imagine a piece of paper with a world map printed on it, right? Well, it now shows the entirety of the world is just a simple piece of paper, a flat piece of paper rather than a sphere, right? Sure. Let us assume that in a game, our world map looks like that. Now what happens if we approach the edge and walk over it like we were teleported to the opposite side? Okay? This doesn't actually make the game world a sphere, but rather a torus. A torus? You know, like a donut. If that's the comparison you want to make, okay. Now things are going to get really complicated. Are you familiar with the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics? Let's say I'm not. It states that every single time a choice is made by an actor that possesses free will, the universe splits off into different branches. This means that for every choice you've made, there exists a branch of the universe where you made a different decision. I see. Now we can't communicate with the other branches in any way. You don't know what would happen if you made a different decision just this morning. You could make an educated guess, but the only person who truly knows what would happen is the alternate you who has made the decision and is living its consequences. That is, unless we could communicate with the other branches. However, there is a barrier that prevents us from doing that. This barrier is made up of wormholes. How does that work? It's very similar to the torus world model that is used in video games. As we approach the edge of our own world, the barrier causes us to end up on the other side instead. Does this mean that we get teleported to the other side like in a video game? Not necessarily. It would be just correct to assume the universe is shaped like a torus. So which is it then? Do we get teleported or not? It depends on how you look at the wormhole's function. Imagine this sheet of paper that is the entirety of our world. We took a sheet of paper from Lauren's stack and showed it to me, marking a spot near the edge with a pen. And this is where you live. Fortunately, your workplace is here on the other side. I like this idea. Fortunately, your workplace is here on the other side. He drew an X right on the edge of the paper. If the world is flat, that would be very unfortunate. However, if the world is a torus, the left and right edges would be connected. We would be able to take a shorter route by going over the edge. Well, let's say that this is only possible because the wormholes are connecting these two edges together. If that happens to be right at the very edge and you look beyond, everything would look perfectly fine for you. Given that these wormholes stay in place, you would never know that the world is actually flat. That you can only travel to the other side because of the wormholes connected with the edges. You would think that the world is a torus. Right. However, if the wormholes don't actually bring you to the other side by teleporting you, but instead by just bending the paper into the torus and holding the edges together. If these wormholes failed or were displaced, the paper would unclose, throwing the world into disarray. That's what the wormholes and the barriers actually do. They're what holds the universe together. So you're really more like Luke. If it wasn't for them, the overall construct would collapse in on itself. What construct? The entirety of space-time. Now that these theories are true, if these theories are true, that would mean that a portal damages the barrier each time the portal is activated. The wormhole is used for teleportation is displaced, leaving a small gap where it used to be. Do this too often, and the overall system will destabilize, eventually. Alright, maybe you shouldn't talk about your theories about how the world is going to end. nothing is going to happen because the portal was used a few times. I just hope humanity is aware of its implications. My cat literally just came up and was blocking all the text on my other screen. Maybe we can collaborate. I certainly hope so. Your researchers seem to know what they're doing. I just hope I could be part of it. With everything that's going on, the future looks incredibly exciting. What do you think you're going to do? What do you think is going to happen, Ibsen? Now you'll get me started. Don't say I didn't warn you. Knowledge contained within your PDAs can propel innovation forward by unseen lengths. Meaning a lot more experiments for you to do. Which would be terribly exciting. Personally, I'm more interested in the social implications. What do you mean? I don't expect there to be just a back and forth to ambassadors forever. Are you talking about colonies? Oh, I bet Lorm would jump at the opportunity to live in the human world. I'm not sure if that would be a good idea. Why not? Obviously, such an endeavor would need lots of preparation. We would need to learn about their culture and adjust appropriately. I'd expect we'd send an ambassador over there before long. Before that will happen though. We hardly know anything about their world. Everything's still up in the air as far as diplomatic relations go. We have no idea what the situation could be in just a week. Yes, and it's all so incredibly exciting. That's interesting how Lorm is saying it's incredibly exciting and Ipsum is saying it's terribly exciting. Oh, sorry, and I misread what that said. Don't get too excited though, or else you'll ruin your drawing. It's almost done anyways. Here, what do you think? Lorm leaned over, holding the paper up to Ipsum. Ipsum looked at the paper closely, his gaze shifting back and forth between me and the paper several times. After a few seconds, he seemed to be finished with his evaluation. As a scientist, my professional opinion is that this part looks a little wrong. He pointed to his sharp claw at a part of the paper that Lorm was holding. Are you sure? Let me see. If I wasn't sure, I wouldn't have said it. I think you're right. That I am. Lorm reached over for his eraser, purging a few lines from the paper before he switched to his pen again. And it's done. See, what would you ever do without me? I don't think I'd hear as many explosions in the middle of the night. You're happy about it when you forgot to set your alarm that one time. Suddenly, the sound of an alarm resounded throughout the room. Oh, my experiment is done. Congratulations, guys. We have spent 2-3 hours in the span of 1 hour because we were waiting for some choices. And there he goes. Charming fellow, isn't he? He sounds fun, yeah, or I can't stand him, and... Oh, we can stand him. We absolutely can stand him. That is not our choice. Justin, what is your choice? Tell this guy to you. Okay, this sounds fun. He certainly keeps things interesting around here, and he's a good art critic. I can imagine. Anyways, looks like we're done here. Phew, this feels good being able to move again. Would you like to stay for dinner? It'd be the least I could do to compensate you for your lost afternoon. What did I just witness? Let me see what time it is. It's getting late. I should probably shouldn't stay up this long. Looks like I'll have to decline for now. I see. We'll have to do something together for you at least. Don't worry about it. Maybe some other time. If you say so. Thanks for doing this at any rate. It's been a huge help. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. Really. Alright. I really should keep going now. I think we just achieved good status. Sure, take care. You witnessed Dio! Nothing going on today, I guess I can do whatever. Such as checking status. Good, yes, I nailed it. Good status. Okay. He was race. What? So he says, hey Cabbage, good to see you too. Your face? What is your face anyways? Turn up my face, never mind that something is off, but that's how you always look. Just coming. Oh, okay, so we're just teasing him. Okay, so let's just go back real quick. That's an autosave. Okay. Thank you for the invitation. That was so formal. Yes, we've seen this before. Skip ahead. As you wish. Chapter 3. Okay, so save here. Okay. Yeah, I think we were just being rude. No, I don't have any other words for that. That was just we were being rude. Okay, so raise his eyebrow. It's Pyro. Neither am I. I can't raise just one eyebrow. I end up raising both. Okay, so gonna save here for now. We have been going for 2 hours. We are barely overdone. I did say okay. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. We will see you guys again next time. Next week for more interesting Scaly Wings. Chapters 3, possibly 4. 3 and 4 should be relatively short, just for that matter. So yeah, we might be able to do this in just next week. As for Final Fantasy VII, that should be picking up again tomorrow. But with my internet supposedly being good again, just somewhat perfect. I'll have to keep that in mind, I guess. So, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you guys again next time. Hopefully with some more participation. Thank you.